Good morning. Welcome to this week's Fiberific Live Craft and Chat, where we're crafting and chatting live. Oh man, I tried really hard and I didn't think that was in the shop, but there it is. It was. So retreat is over for 2025, and it's kind of one of those bittersweet things because I love retreat, but I've just been so busy with stuff that I just was like, oh man, I got so many other things to do when I get home. And then I did none of them because retreat was Sunday. Tim and Abby got home about half an hour after I did. So they'd been away a week. And then Monday was just, a catch up day. It was just get on top of all of the things and catch up. And then Tuesday was run around and do a pile of errands. And then Wednesday was my birthday, which if you're in the US, it's still my birthday. I'm taking those extra few birthday hours. Thanks very much. The retreat was totally awesome. I would even go so far as to say that I honestly think this was the best retreat yet. And it's a tough call. It's a tough call because they are all so good. But I try to change it up and make it a bit different every year. And this year I really was just, okay, I need help. And so Kelly just automatically from last year took on the role of our games master. And she did a phenomenal job. Keeping everyone entertained. We had bingo, we had mini games. There was so much fun. It really was. And Deb made the most beautiful prize. It was so cute. It was one of those. It was just this gorgeous tote with all these. Because it was like Deb sends me this message. Do you have an SVG, which is the Cricut printer cuttable version of your logo? It's like not a giveaway. Not a giveaway at all. But yeah, no, Deb made a beautiful prize. And what I think it is we have the most amazing bunch of people who come to retreat. There's no clickiness. There's no grumbling. There's no complaints. There's no, just sort of negativity in any shape, fashion or form. And that makes it special, I think. Obviously there's I was complaining. I was the complainy one this year. My knee was hurting and I had to do my fusion blanket, which I couldn't do it the way I wanted. So I was grumpy, but those kind of grumpies, not just, ornery people or people who always find something to complain about. We all have those people in our lives that are just like, there's always something to complain about. So, none of that. It was wonderful. It was just so chill and amazing and you heard right. I did take the fusion blanket and I have started piecing it together. Now, I'm not going to work on that during the live stream today. I've got it right here. I was going to, and then I was just like, I don't want to work on it. And I'm the boss of me, so I'm not. I'm going to work on my hat instead. Because I'm like, look how close I am to getting off the round bit of where I had to rewind. I could get that done in a live stream, couldn't I? I could get that done in a live stream. Deb says, I still haven't unpacked my crafting stuff. I've got a lot to unpack. I've unpacked all my dirty washing and some bits and bobs that I've needed. But other than that, I haven't unpacked either. I mean, it's all out of the car. And that's thanks to Tim because he needed his car back. But it's just in the entry and I have to do something with it. But I've been sidetracked because Gabby says, I'm in the US, so happy birthday. Thank you, Gabby. Thanks so much. Let me just have a look here. Deb says she had the best time. Kelly saying happy birthday. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. Deb says, I thought that too. Deb, I was rambling, so I'm not quite sure what you thought that too as well. So please, let me know in the chat. Gabby says, so happy you guys had a great retreat. Kelly says, unpacking is so much harder than packing. Right? It absolutely is. It absolutely is so much harder. I could have sworn I moved that down. Maybe it's just jumping back up whenever it wants. Anyway. So, best retreat. Yes, best retreat. You thought that too. Thanks, Deb. I think so. I think so. We had so much fun. Sue Ellen says, hi, lurking today. I went to a retreat once and so many people complained about the food and the showers and whatever. And I thought the food was great. And seriously, you are there for craft. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Sue Ellen. Like, for a start, I think our venue is really solid. Like, of course, it's not perfect because it's a retreat and it's not supposed to be perfect. And, you know, I think there would be people that could find complaints with 5-star accommodation. And this is still share accommodation. We don't all have rooms to ourselves, things like that. So there's still a bit of, you know, that going on, and it is still shower block toilets, shower block showers. But for the most part, like, I think the only complaint about the amenities that I heard, or maybe that I listened to, I don't know, maybe I blanked them out, I don't know, was that it was really cold to get between the rooms and the shower and toilet blocks, which it legit was. It really was. It was a really hard decision to sort of leave the warmth of either the hall, which had a raging fire, or into our rooms, which had heaters and doonas. You know, it's a tough call. It's a tough call. And that's not the venue's fault that it's cold, right? Yes, Sue Ellen, if you don't like retreat sites, get a hotel. That's exactly it. And the food, like, Leonie looks after us exceptionally well. I've been to many different retreat sites. I've been to at least 10 in the southeast corner of Queensland. And I can tell you right now, the food that Leonie feeds us is far better than anything that I've ever gotten at any of them, ever. Like, hands down. And the accommodations. We're having 2, maybe 3 to a room. And we have actual beds. I don't believe any of the rooms have bunks, but even if they do, no one's expected to sleep on a top bunk. But as far as I'm aware, there are no bunks in the rooms. I could be wrong. Let me know if you're in a room with a bunk, because I actually don't. It would be the only room that I haven't really stayed in is the party room. So that would be Bianca's room. So if Bianca's in the chat, let me know if there's any bunks in there, because I don't know. I don't know, but there's no bunks. They're ensembles. They're not. Actually, are all the rooms ensembles, or do some of the double beds have slat bases? All the singles are ensembles, as far as I'm aware. But it's just, I think it's warm and comfortable, personally. Like, in the rooms, the grounds are cold at night. We're there in winter, and it's on a mountain. Okay. But yeah, Kelly says, I agree, Leonie is gold. Absolutely. I think without Leonie, retreat would be different. I really do. I think Leonie's part of the charm of our retreat. Leonie is Leonie Stacey, who runs Stacey's at the Gap, which is where we have our retreats. She is just gold. She makes it so easy to organize the retreats. She looks after all our people with special diets and doesn't kill them, which is the joke. I haven't killed them yet. She can cater to, like, and she's very open and honest. She only caters to allergies, and like vegans and vegetarians. Other than that, like food preferences, she can't usually deal with that, which is understandable. She's one person. But the thing I especially love, and this is what happens at all the other retreats, right? If you are if you are non-dairy, Bianca, did your room at retreat have any bunk beds in it? Because we're trying to work it out. Like, I haven't been into that room, but I've been and had a look in just about every other room. But I don't think there's any bunks. But anyway, most other retreat venues have like the regular dish and then the one other dish for everybody else. So if you are like lactose intolerant or you're dairy free, that means you get a dairy free, gluten free vegan dish. So So all of that is all bundled into one dish. So it's not like so basically if you're gluten intolerant, you end up vegetarian for the weekend. Very few of them will give the gluten intolerance something, a meat option, because they're making two dishes. They make the main dish for everybody else, and then the dish for anybody with either an allergy or a preference. And so, yeah, I think Leonie does phenomenally well. She looks after us so well. Her kitchen is very, very, very well stocked and very, very tidy. And I love that. And I do feel naughty every time I poke my head in, like to ask a question. I feel like I shouldn't be in there, because I shouldn't be, really. Like, and basically I poke my head in the door and I feel like I'm already breaking 15,000 insurance rules. Vampire says, happy birthday. So many birthdays this time of the year. My eldest 25 and the youngest 20 have their birthday today. Wow, that is amazing. Happy birthday to your children's. A friend of Abby's, there's 3 siblings and all their birthdays are within this sort of, I think it's like an 8-day window, like a 2-week window. It's interesting how it all goes. Molly says, happy birthday and glad you had a great retreat. We did. We really did. It was so much fun. It really was. It really was. Okay, so I could be crafting and talking about this stuff at the same time. I don't have a Louis, so I don't have Louis Cam. I do have the heater on because I didn't really feel like wearing a jumper, which if you need me to turn the heater off, if it gets too much, just let me know. I know it's loud. I know it's noisy, but it's also toasty. But I've also got it connected so I can ask the G machine for help to deal with that too. So I don't even have to get up and turn it off and on. How slack am I? How slack am I? So one of the things I did yesterday on my Australian birthday was I got out my new sewing machine. So Tim and Abby bought me a new sewing machine for my birthday, and I thought, and while I was away at retreat, Leonie let me know of another retreat that was coming up in a couple of weeks, and they had 1 spot left available, which I now have, so there's no spots available, which is Sew to Grow, which I've actually bought some of her stuff before, but then sort of chickened out and never made it. She's running a retreat, just a 2-day retreat, on how to adjust patterns for your body. And you make a mock-up of one of her patterns and you go from there. And so you don't actually, like, the goal of the weekend is not actually to create a garment, although I think depending on where in the cycle of you being helped with your mock-up, you might have time, or at least to get stuff cut out anyway. But being able to sort of learn, because I don't know anything about sewing garments, honestly. I've made A-line dresses for Abby. I've knocked up a couple of pairs of shorts for myself, just for, for the yard. And that's about it when it comes to sort of clothing. I can make a mean little girl's A-line dress though, with interface top of the neck and, little button at the back. I can do that. I made a lot of those. But yeah, so not so confident in the making garments for me. So I am going to be learning how to adjust her. She has a pattern called the Bondi top. So I'm going to be learning how to adjust that. But, probably a smart idea not to take a new machine that you've never used to retreat, right? And probably lucky that I didn't, because I'm trying to use it yesterday and for the life of me, I could not get the stitches to sit nicely. They were doing all sorts of weird stuff. And I'm changing tensions and bobbin threads and re-rolling bobbins and putting in the top needle thread. I don't know what that's called. Over and over and over again, going insane, harassing poor Deb. Thank you, Deb, for being so awesome about it. And it turned out that it was the needle that was supplied in the machine was just a little bit janky. So I pulled that out, chucked in one of my other needles. I can't remember the name of the brand. Schmetz. Does that sound right? I don't know. Anyway, I had a Schmetz. I can't remember the kind of needle it was. It was one that I used for bag making. So I threw that in there, brand new one of those. Next thing you know, I had to go back and put all the tension stuff back to where it was, and it was perfect. It was the needle all along. So don't just assume that when you buy a new sewing machine that the needle that comes in it is any good, because that's what I did, and that was a miserable fail. Do not do that. Tali says, learning a new sewing machine is like driving a new car. It takes time to get to know each other. Absolutely. So one of the things that I've noticed with the Brother machines versus the Janome machines is that there's no like little accessory sort of carry container things for all the accessories. Now there's people who are like, just put it in the little compartment. No, the compartment will rattle and then I'll hear it shake. And if you know me, that's a no. That's a no. I'm that person that'll look around in the car like, who's got a water bottle in the door? Move it. I can hear it rattling. I don't like any noises like that. They do my head in, and I start focusing on the noise rather than what I'm doing, which when you're driving a car, the best idea. Not the best idea. Don't recommend that. So I've got like little, the little crochet coasters, a couple of those in the cup holders so that if anything's in the cup holder, at least it doesn't like bounce on the bottom. And then I don't leave anything in the doors, and the only thing in the glove box is like a box of tissues and the actual owner's manual. Yeah, I keep an empty car because plus a hoodie, but hoodies don't make any noise. I keep pretty much an empty car because I don't like car noises. Could be because of all the types of cars I grew up in that were very much like, if you hear this noise get any worse, tell me because we need to pull over and I need to tighten that. But yeah, so I'm sort of sitting there playing with this machine and deciding what to make first. And I'm making one of those, I think it's called the Magic Cube pouch. We were talking about it the week before last. Molly, you gave me a great suggestion for a website, but I ended up finding a tutorial on YouTube, which if I was smarter, I would have left a link here, where a lady actually goes through and shows you how to make the whatever size one of those you want, like with measurements, and then how to cut it out to get the template. So I did that yesterday. So I've got the small one. I'm making up a smallish one. So that'll be for things like the feet, and extra bobbins and things like that. Because the other thing is I need to keep my bobbins from my Janome and my Brother separate. So I need to look at some solutions there as well, of what I can do, because they look pretty similar to me, but apparently they're not. So I have to look into that as well to make sure I keep the bobbins separate. But yeah, so Spin Girl says, I'm like that in the car too. What's rattling? Make it stop. Yes, definitely. But yeah, so it's just, lots of sort of that going on. And so I went in and I went through my fabric stash and worked out what it was, because I was like, oh, I'm going to have to go shopping for this retreat, because you need to have like, 2 meters of this, and then there's a Facebook group for the retreat. Can you share the link? I'll see if I can find it quickly. So just bear with me for just a second. I actually have it open on my iPad right now, so that might make it so I can share it easier. YouTube. So she has 2 tutorials. Oh, look at that. Because I have it open on my iPad right this minute, when you go into YouTube, it's there open in the same spot. So I've got this is the tutorial. Please don't, I don't want you to play, but I do want you to go big. I don't want you to play because I don't want to get in trouble. All right, so this is the tutorial for walking through making the bag. You might need to go back to the start. I think it just gave you where I was up to. But So and So is the name of the channel. But she also has one. Hang on, I'm just going to see if I can find it for you. She's actually got a lot of bags, and I like her style and how she teaches. Let me just see if I can find it. Helps if I can type and spell pouch. Oh, here we go. This is the one. Please don't start talking. All right, so this is the link for how to, the second link is the how to draft your own pattern for it. Okay, alrighty. I found them. Hopefully we didn't get too much of her audio through because I'll get in the poo-poos for that, so hopefully not. Anyway, so I went through and I drafted up the pattern. I was like, oh, I'm just making a little thing. I don't need to get out my iron press for the interfacing. I'll just use my little Cricut iron, right? I think I got about halfway through a 6-inch rectangle before I was just like, oh, hell no. I'm digging out the iron press. I say digging out because sometimes that's where we put like the pile of towels, like just on top of it. And so I'm like, get all the towels that we've just washed out of it and set that up. Because I'm like, the 4 rectangles, boom, closed, done. And then the 2 big pieces, they've got done in 2 lots of closings. There's a time. You put the lid down and you lock the little thing, and then after a little bit it goes beep, 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 and you unlock it and that's it. It's done. Absolute best Facebook Marketplace purchase I've done. I mean, I really haven't done that many Facebook Marketplace purchases. I've done that one, and I did one for the back dash cover for Abby's car. That's it. That's all I've done, I think. Or maybe I've done something else. Did a Gumtree once. I'm always dubious, like I'm sure there's like 11 billion amazing sellers out there, but I'm like, if there's one dodgy one, I'm going to get the dodgy one. Or it's not going to work and I might as well just buy a new one. But yeah, the iron was the best thing I managed to pick up in one of those sales. It was so good. Makes life so much easier, especially when it comes to interfacing. I just picked up some really big Teflon sheets. So, and I painter's taped them to cover the press pad so that I don't have to worry about the interfacing, touching that and getting the glue and stickies on that so it stays nice and clean. And so far, I mean, I do have one for the bottom, but I don't always use it. But so far I've been pretty good. I do try to cut my interfacing to be just a smidgy, either exactly the right size or a smidgy dash smaller. I try not to make it too big. But yeah, so for that one, I've got everything all cut out. I have sewn the side flap things, so they're done and they're put aside and they're all top stitched and ready to be attached. And I just finished the handle this morning. So that's ready to be attached. And then I'm into stitching up the sides of the bag and adding the zipper. And it's one of those magic pouches that does the diagonal zip around the side and then back down again. So we'll see how it goes. So not only is my first foray on the new machine new, but I'm doing a pattern I've never done before, and it's a bag. So we'll see how that goes. But what it's doing, and this is one thing I do love about like some of the bag making, is, and she's very clear with it, which this is the only tutorial of hers I've watched, but I'm keen for more, because she goes in and talks about, she's like, oh, I'm going to do this with, she doesn't just say top stitch. She says, top stitch it at like a 4.5 or a 4 or whatever. She actually tells you the measurement that she's going to change it to. So I love that. And so it's made it so I'm like, easily adjusting and changing stitches on my, like stitch lengths and stuff on my new thing, which I will say is so easy to do. It's literally pressing of a little arrow and looking on the computer screen, which is very clear. This is my first, let me just think about this for a second. Is my Janome might be actually my first computerized machine, but it's an older style computer. Like, so this is my first brand new machine that I've ever had. Every other machine I've had secondhand. And then also this one just seems to be really clear with the images. And one of the things I love is that when you choose a stitch pattern, it actually shows you the imagery of what it's about to stitch. You don't have to sort of go, did I just program that in all right? It's very clear. It's very clear. But anyway, it has limitations as well. I did buy sort of a sort of mid to low sort of level machine. It should do everything I want it to do. So far, it's not even had a, like, you know, it's gone through like 6 layers of fabric without a hiccup. So that's positive. One thing I will say, so anyone here who's a sewer and maybe a Brother user, have you ever seen, is there available an 1/8 inch foot? Or she said that they're sometimes called zipper foots. And our friend Kylie, who runs a lot of the bag making retreats that I go to, she uses one as well. And I think I would like that. It's very hard to see the 1/8 of an inch when you've got a wider foot. It's very hard to see where the line for it is. And I definitely think I would like to know why with sewing machines, when you're not supposed to watch the needle so much, you're supposed to feed from down here. Why the thing with the lines with the markings of the different widths, you know what I'm talking about, why that doesn't run all the way down. I would like to know that. So at the moment, I have a piece of painter's tape stuck down at the 1/4 inch mark, but I would like something for the 1/8 of an inch as well. So I don't know if the Brothers come with an 1/8 of an inch foot. Their zipper foot is not narrow. It's a chonky boy. So that's not gonna do the job. And it comes with one of those, and I don't like it. And also, like, seriously, you buy, like, what's supposed, like, I got mine on sale, but it's like $1,000 machine, and all your parts come in a little plastic pouch. Like, really? Tacky. So that's why I'm making a pretty fabric one. And so in all my diggings through all my fabric stash and everything like that, because I don't have, like, compared to my yarn stash and yarn tools, I don't have a lot of fabric stuff. I have sort of, I can pretty much I could probably put it all into 2 of my big black, I think they're 100-litre crates, and that's all of my fabric. So, because what it is I've got 1.5 of those plus some tool containers, so I could technically squish them in there. But also I have another little crate, just a standard crate, that's just got my big fat foam for bags and my fusible fleece. That's a hard one. Oh, are you guys off Legoing? Oh, hey, do you reckon you could bring me in the chrysanthemum one so I can show everybody? So while Tim and Abby were exceptionally generous and got me this amazing sewing machine for my birthday, I picked that up a couple of weeks ago. And while I unboxed it like a week and a half ago, I actually didn't start sewing on it till yesterday, which was not the plan. I was not told you can't sew on it till your birthday. It just happened.
And so her amazing daughter, Abby, got her this lovely Lego chrysanthemum thing.
It's got a pot.
She has her flowers and she wanted something with a pot. And then what else did I get you?
Oh, and I also got, so I got this, which I have not done it yet because Abby and I were going to do it together. So I haven't done this one yet. But I also got some Poppy's chocolates. Oh, thank you. Which I have been rating. Did somebody eat one of the other hearts?
No, it's in the box.
Oh, okay. So it's two hearts.
Well, there were 3 hearts.
Yeah, there's 3, but I ate one yesterday. And a raspberry milk chocolate with block. And they freeze dry fruit. So it's not just sort of raspberry-esque. It's actual raspberries crushed up and mixed through it, which will be amazing. Kelly, Poppy's Chocolates is here in Beenleigh, and you can go in and buy your chocolates in person.
And I have an online store.
And also freeze-dried lychees. Lychees are my all-time favorite fruit in the entire world. And they had freeze-dried lychees. So obviously I've cracked those open. I've had a couple of those too. So this was, I got to open these. This was my special birthday present from Abby. And also a little sticker book of glittery puppy stickers, which I just love. So I'm just going to pop these aside. I know, but only open on weekdays, so not when I'm coming past. Keep an eye out. Sometimes they open up on a Saturday. Around special times. That's not going to fit there. Pop it there. I need to get the chocolate out of my eyes because I will eat it. I just need to move them over to the side. Safely away from my eye holes. That's dangerous but great. Oh, look. I only go, I think I've only been in store 2 or 3 times. Maybe 3 times. Usually to buy for someone else because it is such a dangerous store. So I've got some friends who are, their family is gluten and dairy, like allergic to gluten and dairy, right? And so they can't get chocolate very easily. Poppy's makes gluten-free, dairy-free chocolate. So I'm able to go in and get stuff for them, which is just awesome. So, you know, just makes it a bit more special being able to find what you need for them. But also their stuff is just divine. Like they had a show bag out for the Eka, and I'm not a show bag person. Like I've never really been big into the show bags. But I have to say, this one tempted me even at $140. And I was just like, no, you can't buy a bag of chocolate. You can't spend $140 on chocolates. Oh, yeah, Haigh's is pretty damn awesome. I love Haigh's. Whenever Tim has to go to, like, where my husband's work used to be was, like, he had an office he had to go to every now and again that was across the road from one of the, from the Haigh's main factory shop. And so that was dangerous. I think either the office moved or Haigh's moved. I can't remember. Either way, it's not that. Now he has to just pick it up at the airport. Okay, Google, turn off the heater.
Okay, turning the heater off.
Thank you. But yeah, so I do like Haigh's. I do like Haigh's a lot. It was actually, I think it was a Haigh's video that I was watching that showed me that when you make hundreds and thousands, it's not about dropping the chocolate down and then, not freckles. When you make freckles, it's not about dropping the chocolate down and then putting all the colored baubles on the chocolate. You make a tray of the you know, hundreds and thousands, and then you blop the chocolate on top of it, and then it's what soaks. Made total sense. I had no idea. Now I know. Now I know how to make them myself. And I can make them as thin or as thick as I like. I like thin ones. Quite often they're too thick. Knitspin Girl says, lucky I don't have a remote controlled heater because Google tried. Sorry. Next time I ask the G Machine for help, I should pre-warn everybody or, you know, mute myself or something. Sorry, I forgot. Game Widows is coming in with a late note. Oh, Deb says, I have a pinhead foot for my machine. Yeah, see, Kelly, I would do that for fairy bread. I don't know why I didn't think about it for making my own freckles. I don't know where my brain was. Anyway, Deb, so is it called a pinhead foot for brother? Because I might have to ring him up and add it to my foot order. Because it is something that I would like to have. I think it's one. So I'm picking up a Teflon foot and a 1/4 inch seam foot for when I'm doing like blankets and stuff like that. So that's coming. So I think because it comes with a in the ditch foot, but not a 1/4 inch seam foot. Holly says, what is fairy bread? Oh my gosh. Holly, fairy bread is an Australian staple that every Australian child has had at some stage. We have it at parties, we all sorts of things. Now, this is the only way to make it. There are no alternatives. Fairy bread cannot be made in any shape, fashion, or form that is in any way considered healthy. You try using wholemeal bread, you deserve a punch in the throat. Seriously, use multigrain, go and set fire to yourself in a corner. It is the cheapest, nastiest, softest white bread you can get your hands on. Swodge it with butter. You need the butter. The butter is what makes the hundreds and thousands stick to it. Then in a big tray, you lay out as many hundreds and thousands as you can. I'm talking the little rock hard balls that when you bite, and you think you've cracked a tooth. They're the ones you want. Lay them out with your swodged up buttered bread of carbohydrates. Go, squash it in. Don't squash it. Gently lay it and move it around a bit. You want as many of those little bubbles to stick to it as possible. Chop it in triangles. Triangles only, people. None of this rectangular fairy bread. Wings aren't rectangles, are they? No, they're triangles. So triangular fairy bread. And that, my friends, is fairy bread. You're welcome. So anyway, back to the 1/4 foot with or without crust. Now that's an optional. That's an optional. Personally, I like with crust. Just because it gives you something to hold. But I have seen it without crust, and it's totally acceptable without crust. As long as you're using the cheap and nasty bread, because you don't want a nice firm crust. It's got to be the soft crust that you can't even tell that you're biting into a crust, not the good crusty bread. Well, he says good to know. So Deb's okay. I've got a pinhead foot. Hang on, I've got to add it to my list of stuff that I want for my sewing machine. Stuff that I want. Pinhead foot. 1/8 foot. Okay. Alrighty. Important. Lisbon Girl says, with a crust to be used as a handle but not actually eaten. Yeah, because you can't get the butter or the fairy bread bits on it. I'm glad to hear that while there's a discussion about crust or no crust, there's no discussion about triangles, because I've had the rectangular fairy bread and it's wrong. Bianca's never had fairy bread. Your parents just failed you, Bianca. Your parents have failed you. So yeah, it's fairy bread is a staple for all children in Australia. Okay, so Deb's just sending me messages about the foot. Thank you, Deb. I will check that. Yeah, because I think the issue, and even the lady, I think her name is Catherine Ann. I'm not sure, but even she mentioned it. Even she mentioned that it might be different if you've got an industrial versus a domestic, and I have a domestic machine, so you can even fancy up your fairy bread by using Nutella. No, you can't. That's not fairy bread. That's another interesting treat, but it's not fairy bread. Fairy bread is on white bread with butter and sprinkles. Google even says to cut the bread in triangles. I like that. I like that Google's got it right. It must be triangles and very cheap white bread. Absolutely. The $1 a loaf stuff from Woolies. You know the stuff, the $1 a loaf stuff. And put that into perspective, it's about 1/4 of the cost of a decent loaf of bread. I am a traditionalist. Yes. No green jelly in the trifle and no other spreads. Next thing you know, it'll be like, oh, let's use Biscoff. Nope. No. So, no. I mean, I'm sure it's tasty enough because I do like Nutella. And again, Nutella on cheap, nasty white bread is amazing. Nutella on sourdough is pretty damn good too, I'll have to say. I like Nutella. Nutella is good. But, no. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. I think I earned that one. Oh, dear. Yeah, I think I earned that one. Alrighty. I've got my coffee. What's everyone else? We're like 40 minutes in and I forgot to ask what everybody else is working on. I'm working on my Musselburgh hat that I so desperately want to get out of. I don't like working off, like when I rewrap something. I don't like that bit. I'm desperately trying to get rid of that. But, you know, poking the bear. Absolutely. You know, when you have that thing where YouTube will say, "Oh, your stream health is excellent," and it just makes you remind that you actually didn't plug in you're running off Wi-Fi, um, and not like didn't plug the hardline in, because when we went away, so I rolled all the cables in. I normally run a Wi-Fi, not a Wi-Fi. I normally run an Ethernet cord from my office across to Tim's office where the internet is. Oh, one thing I'll say about this machine, which I'm really surprised about, is it doesn't like, I don't know how to describe it. So every other sewing machine I've ever owned have been pretty, like, they make the table kind of, you feel the vibration through the table. So I just about only ever sew at my dining table because it's a big, heavy, solid timber table. So I don't feel any movement. I don't hear any noise, but I can still feel the vibration through the top, right? This one, there's no vibration. I can hear it. I can hear it, you know, making, because it's a sewing machine. It's a junk, 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 junk. It's also quieter than any of the other machines I've ever owned. I mean, it's not stealth mode. I still can't sew next to Abby's bedroom without her going, eh. But it is definitely quieter. If she's asleep, she doesn't hear it. But I'm beginning to think I might be able to sew on this table, which is a game changer for me, because then I can sew with this chair. And that's the thing that does me in with the chairs, is that our dining table chairs are just timber chairs. They're very nice, but I can't sit in them for very long before my, you know, legs start hurting and things like that. So I'm thinking that it'd be very nice. So I'm going to add some, because this table does shake a little bit. It is an uppy downy table, but I also have a little IKEA table, which is on wheels, which would, anyway, very, very difficult. Poking the bear. Is that allowed, poking the bear during birthday week? Look, you know, I'm one of these people that, like, when I worked in an office, I never took the day off for my birthday, things like that. Birthday's another day, but just a day where you also get cake. And I got cake. I got cheesecake. Abby, what was the flavour of that cheesecake again? What's the flavour of my birthday cake? It's a caramel macadamia cheesecake. Oh my gosh. I'm very, very happy. My mouth is already like, oh yeah, so we should have another piece of that. It's very, very good. It's from Woolworths. Because there's only 3 of us, we don't need to go big cakes all the time. We do sometimes, but we don't. I tend not to for mine. But man, if they had a bigger version of that, I'd buy it. It's very nice. It's very nice. Holly says, I'm working on dinner right now, but I'm trying to think of a new project. I have whips that need to be complete, but I feel like I want to work on something new. I got new DPNs this week, right? And also some new yarn. And I'm sitting on my couch with the DPNs here and the bag of yarn there, fighting myself so hard to not just knit myself up a beautiful green hat. Now, I can go and grab the DPNs if you like. I had a surprise because... And if Josephine is here in the chat, or because she's bought the same set, we managed to score a deal. And so we bought all these Knit Picks Royal or Royale, I don't know what it is, DPNs, right? That we found on sale. And anyway, it was, I bought a set of 4, right? I had a 4 mil in a 15 centimeter set. And I loved how they felt, and they were like kind of this reddy, rosy wood kind of colour. So I was expecting the whole set to be that colour. And when they've arrived, they're all different colours. And I love it. I love it so much. At first I was like, oh no. And I've messaged Josephine. She goes, yeah, I was expecting that. And I'm like, I wasn't. And they're all these beautiful different colors. And the thing I specifically love about that is, let me know in the chat if you've ever accidentally grabbed a mismatched set of DPNs. Oh, you want me to show them? All right, I'll go and grab them. But like I have done this. I've been like working on 2 mils thinking, geez, this one feels a bit thicker. And I had like 3 2 mils and a 2.25 mil. This is never going to happen again if I'm using this set. You should see the new DPNs. All right, hang on. I'm going to go and get them. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Game Winner says, contemplating what project I should begin. Do I weave something, warp up an inkle loom, sew something, spin something, or just keep doing nothing for a bit? I don't know. You had bendy. I mean, do you actually feel like you want to craft? Because like, oh, have a rest. That's not going to work if you actually feel like crafting. Okay. So this is the new color yarn that I got. So I think this is called Saltbush. It's a little lighter than what the camera's giving. We're having light issues. I don't know why. It's balancing out my light. I'm just going to... So it's kind of... I love it. It's got like little flecks of yellow through it a little bit here and there. Just little tiny amounts. Nothing too crazy. Except for I'd pick out those bigger bits that you can see there. But it's kind of like this beautiful grit. Anyway... That being added to my Midlands collection. So I'm like, I'll have that. Now this is my case, and I just bought this off of Amazon. I picked it up. So it is a Knit Picks case, but they've replaced them now with these sort of faux suede ones, which I have to say, I thought they were a bit meh, and then Josephine bought one, and now I want all the faux suede. Anyway, so... I evicted a pile of my DPNs because it was already full. So I evicted a pile out. So they only had the 2 mils in the shorter length. So I got the shorter length of the 2 mils. And then I got a 2.5, a 2.75, because I didn't have any 2.25s. A 2.75, a 3, 3.25, a 3.5, 3.75, and a 4. And see, I thought the whole lot was going to be this colour, and it wasn't. See, because that was the 4s that I had. Then the 4.5s, the 5s, and the 5.5s. So, so I've shoved some extras in there, right? Because there's some big ones. So I've, that's just bulked out those sections. But I'm like, maybe I need a second one of these case. So... But they feel amazing. And so I've got that yarn sitting there, and these, so the yarn's on one side and these are on the other side, and I'm like, Kelly, tell me about it. Now, if you like with these ones here, and you can read it really clearly and easily, that's awesome, right? But when it's like, I think like sort of something like that's this big, that's round. This one's not, it's a cubic, but it's, if they're this big and they're round and you're like trying to find it, at a glance, I can tell if I've grabbed the right ones. Like, I don't have to grab a needle gauge. I don't have to do any of that stuff. At a glance, I can tell I've got the right ones. And they're lovely and they feel amazing. So, yeah. And it was at a price I couldn't refuse. So, yes. So that's where they are. I love it, Holly. I love it. So if you can get onto if you've got a Knit Picks dealer, these are the Knit Picks Royals or Royale. I don't know which way you say it. They're lovely. Francis says, I have needle envy and I don't even knit with DPNs. Look, it was one of those happy surprises because when I first opened it up, the package, and they were all different colors. At first, my heart sank because I was like, oh, I don't mind for me, but I've got to tell Josephine, and it was so hilarious because she was like, yeah, they do come in different colors, and I was like, I obviously didn't do enough research, so I was relieved that she was okay with it. But yeah, so it was just like, oh, but just now I've got projects I just want to get finished, right? So, and then I can start that. Then I can sit down and work. I mean, technically speaking, I could possibly convert my headband over and use 2 DPNs because they are long DPNs. And then I could possibly work the headband using 2 long DPNs, right? Like that could legit be a thing. But I'm also not a big fan of changing needles midway through a project because different needles behave differently and could adjust my tension. And while my tension for cables is iffy at best, then it's just one of those things. I'm gonna have some coffee. Is it raining out there? I think I can hear it raining. Let me just check the bomb. Bum 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 bum. Holly says, I finished a 2-year-old whip yesterday and now I feel like I get to start something new. Yeah, you do. Talia says it's raining at hers. A 2-year-old whip, that's got to feel amazing. I'm a bit jealous. Oh yeah, it is raining here. That's the noise I am hearing is raining. Again, Widow says, I was sorting out my ChowGru needles the other day, putting them all in one place, and I discovered that I have 4 sets of 4mm interchangeables and far too many cables to be respectable. Well, I do recall a time when you were missing things because your daughter was stealing your stuff. I do recall that. What am I making right now? I'm making the Musselburgh hat. And I'm on the second color of 3. So I'm doing 8 inches, then 6 inches of this guy, and then 8 inches of the third one. Oh yeah, please post a picture in the group. That'd be great. Now, for all those other Musselburgh people, did I miss a step in Tim's Musselburgh where I'm supposed to join the 2 layers together? Like, so when I'm sewing up the final seam, should I have run a thread through to join it? Because it seems that like when he washes it, it becomes the big long sort of piece again, and he can't maneuver it back inside of itself for some reason. I'm not sure. But I'm thinking maybe I did something wrong and it was supposed to be stitched. But for me, it makes sense not to stitch it. Oh, okay, so I didn't miss it. You can, but it's not in the instructions. Okay, because I'm thinking I missed something. Kelly says my 2 ends aren't connected. Because, like, wouldn't you be able to dry it heaps faster? Like, if it's not connected? Anyway, I think of all the positives. It's not supposed to be stitched. It doesn't say anything. You didn't miss anything. Thank you. Because I was just like, oh, man, this is such a pain. But if you stitch it up, then you've got, like, the 2 layers that have to get dry. Like, if you've got to dry it. And if it's cold and damp, you want it to dry as fast as possible. So, and he seems to wash it a lot. I'm surprised. And I don't know why he washes it so much, but he does. So I do know he wears it for his early morning walks. but maybe I should talk him about that. When showing people, it's great to be able to open up and understand how it's constructed. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and welcome to the chat, Callie5567. Sorry, I forgot to welcome you. But yeah, it's just one of these things, right? Where you just does your head in. I'm going the wrong way. There we go. I don't know why that's flickering light and dark. It's really like I've got so much light here and I don't know why it's so shadowy for you guys. I'm just trying to add in more light for you. Like my hand will cast a shadow now. That's because that's too bright. That's not going to work. I don't know what's going on. This is being a butt. So it's a husband problem? Okay. All right. It's a picnic issue. Basically, like a knitting version of a picnic issue. Person in chair, not in computer. But yeah, so while Abby was out buying my gorgeous birthday Lego, she spotted one that she's been trying to get her hands on for ages. And it's her first one. So she's bought like a Kmart brand one for herself, but all the Lego things that she's Nitpicks and the name is Royale. I think so. I think it is. RO. I don't have the paperwork handy, but I think it's got the E on the end. I think it does. Andrew Can, thank you so much. It's so good to see you. Having a great birthday. And it's kind of like I get to have an extended birthday because technically it's tomorrow for me. And so yeah, it's one of those special ones where it gets to stretch out a little bit. So thank you so much. And for it's a super chat. Yeah, it's a super chat. Thank you for that as well. So, man, is it Pavlovian when it's like the automated response? I see Andrew Can pop into a chat and it's like, must have water. So it's water time. So, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. I've been seeing you in so many live streams lately. It's so cool. It's so cool. Opus and Tube's been on live streams? No, maybe just lots of Opus ones. Drink that water, yes. I drink a lot of water, but for some reason, like it's like, oh, Andrew must drink water now. So, yep. Trying to stay busy. You are trying to stay busy. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, so we've got like those Royales. Let me just see if it's written on the needles anywhere. I don't know if it is. Get a big one so I can read it easy. No, they've just got the sizing written on them. But Deb, send me a DM later and I'll talk you through it. But yeah, so I've been trying very hard, so very hard not to start anything new just so I can play with those needles. They came in and it was just like itchy fingers, make the things. But it's like, no, because I've had a pile of work on that like which is great, and I'm not complaining about that, but I had a pile of work on, so less crafting time. Plus, also, I need to give my new sewing machine, a sort of a workout, so that when I go and do this, how to scale patterns. Because I had a big chat with the lady running the course as well, because some of her sizes don't quite hit my measurements. That's the polite way to put it. And she was like, don't even worry about it. I'm going to show you how to grade it so that it doesn't matter if a pattern hits your measurements or not. You can grade it in so that it does. I am so chuffed. I have opted for the additional, there's a kit that she's making available, which does include a full French curve, including hip adjustments. So that will be awesome. That'll make the world of difference. And I think I'm going to need to go and get my hands on a seriously bulk amount of pattern trace paper, because I have a feeling I'm going to be going through and just redoing a pile of patterns that I have had in the past that were like iffy size wise, and now I'm just like, man, I can just knock out something cool. And I've been looking like, because like the Bondi top that which will be my first make, I may not be making it at the retreat, but it'll be my first make after. It just uses really basic cotton, so you can use like quilting cotton. It's supposed to be just lightweight, not too difficult, sort of firmer, non-stretch, non-knit kind of fabric. And the thing that has always put me off about those sorts of tops is that they're normally these garish patterns, ginormous flowers or that, and they give Moo Moo vibes, right? I get the Moo Moo vibes from them, whether that's the intention or not, I don't know. And I know some people absolutely love Moo Moos. I'm not a Moo Moo fan. And so I get this Moo Moo vibe. So being able to find like some really super cute patterns that are like that, they're still sort of, how do I put this? They're medium-sized patterns rather than large, and they're gentler in their colors rather than just, how much color can I use before your eyes bleed, and then dial it back one notch. So yeah, so I've got plans. And I happen to have fabric in my stash, because hanging out with these bag making girls is as bad as hanging out with you lot in a yarn store, honestly. Because I would be like, oh, I need 0.5 meter for this project, and they're like, buy 2 meters. And it's like, what? And they're like, buy 2 meters, buy 3 meters. What happens if you love this and you want to make yourself a matching set? You need more of the same fabrics. So I've been buying all my fabrics in like all these cottons in like 2 and 3 meters instead of the required 0.5 meter. So, lots of fabric. You have to be careful. You can end up looking grannyish, or your shirt ends up resembling scrubs. Yes, I was thinking about that the other day. I was looking at this one particular cute pattern, and it actually made me think, if I wasn't careful with that. And it's also not a V-neck top, so scrubs are usually a V-neck, which is positive, but maybe most people don't realize that. But yes, there is always that you have to just be a little bit cautious of. So, but they do say that after you've made it in like the cotton, where it's the firmer stitching, because the cotton doesn't shift and move, and when you get a bit more confidence, you can move into some of those sort of more rayons and knits and stretches. The pattern can be done in all those different fabrics. They just don't recommend it for the first time, which makes total sense. It's like beginner steps. I still have never knit anything with using stretch or knit yet. And I have some beautiful stretchy knit fabric that I bought to make myself a set of pajamas that I've not done yet, because I haven't made anything with stretchy fabric. And apparently this new machine does stretch stitching really good. So I will have to have a test run and see what I think of that. And also I'm already like, maybe I need an overlocker. So, we'll see. I should make a few things first before I go and buy a whole other machine. And then also, if I'm able to use these not quite as sturdy tables, it will mean I'll be able to keep a machine set up, which will mean I'm able to just do things a lot quicker and just use the big dining table for cutting out, and then sew everywhere else or anywhere else. So, there's all these bonuses. There's all these advantages to being able to just have your stuff set out. Like, you know full well yourself, like if you've got a craft room and you can easily access all your tools, you know where your stash is, it's not all in crates all stacked on top of each other, hiding, trying to be as small as possible. You've got it all sort of inusable. Like I've got some stuff in crates, right? But I have my crates in shelves, which means I can pull out one crate at a time, which means the stuff inside of it is protected. That's a different story. But if you just have your crates just stack, like I do with my fabric stash, which it's 2 crates on top of each other, let's be honest. So yeah, it's just one of these sort of things. Emma, you have got the same model of machine. Do you think that if I used an IKEA table that's on wheels, that it would be it'd just be too much? Because like for me to test it, I've got an emptier work table. I've got an emptier table. Now I've been working on clearing it slowly, but I will have to do a fast clear if that's the case. Because then I can have my sewing machine at that table and I can roll my chair over to it and I can have a screen with the TV show I want to watch. And because at the moment I'm on the dining table, which is actually the one room in the house that you can't see a single screen. So I've got my little iPad. The first world problem, I totally know. But when I'm trying to learn a tutorial, I'd like a bigger screen rather than a little iPad where I've got to like zoom in on stuff. Game Widow says, I've used my machine on tables like the ones at Retreat and it was fine. Oh, so this is more stable than those. Because I lock the wheels, so you know it's not like it's rolling around. I'm just trying to think if this is more stable than those. I can only test it, like that's all I can do here. But if I can at least, man, that would be a game changer. That would be such a game changer. I think that your craft supplies. I think when your craft supplies are out and easily available, then it's easier to use the supplies all of the time. I agree. And I also think that it means you're less likely to accidentally buy more of the same thing. Like when it comes to your 4mm needles, right? Like I know I've got multiples, but I intentionally have multiples because I'm not a project monogamist and a lot of my projects use 4mm. So I have multiple 4mm crochet hooks, multiple 4. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I couldn't get to the mute button in time. Multiple 4mm crochet hooks, multiple 4mm tips. Same with 3s. 3mm is my other very popular size. And I have multiples of both of those because I use them both so much. So yeah, it's just one of those things where, you just, sometimes you do need more of one size, but sometimes, like, let's not look at my cable collection for my needles. Sometimes you end up with more cables because you plumb can't find where they are because you've put them away somewhere safe. You don't know where they are. So you just order another. What's another cable? Doesn't matter. What's another cable? I'll get another one. Yeah, and Game Widow says I have multiple 2.25mm DPNs because of how I knit socks. Like that's the thing, right? And so, it's just, I just had a thought, I can use my special DPNs for making this hat. When I make my next one, I'm going to do it on long DPNs because they're the 20cm DPNs. Holly says you can never have enough cables. I think there comes a point where it's like, I don't have quite enough. Oh my God, now I have too many. I'm not sure how big that bit in the middle is where there's just enough. I'm not sure. But I would definitely rather have too many than not enough. I get very frustrated when I can't find the cable length that I want in the tip that I want to use. So do I want to use ChowGrease for something? Can I find the right cable length? Damn it, I've got to move to the Knit Pros or vice versa. So, you know, it's one of these things where it's just like, I don't even know where to go. I don't know. Kelly says she agrees with Holly that you can never have too many cables. I don't know. I think you can. I think there is a point. I think there's a point where there's too many cables. I think I'm at this point of too many cables. Now I'm like, oh, do I want cables with swivels or not with swivels? Do I want to use my teal cables, my red cables, or my purple cables? The coffee is finished. Yeah, unfortunately, because of how tight I wrapped this, it's actually dodged the construction of this. I want picture rails in my office so I can hang my looms and other tools up off the desk floor. I like that. I actually saw this what's his name? The guy who does all the quilting. He's got the curly hair and he's got the beautiful eyes. And I can't think of his name. Is it it's something domestic. Is it MX domestic? I don't know. Anyway, something like that. He was doing a duet with somebody who was showing them through their mother's or their grandmother's quilting room. And she had this phenomenal like it's like this sort of like routed out thing for putting all your, you know, your rulers, Mr. Domestic, thank you. And it's putting all your quilting rulers and all your little plastic templates and things into, and they just stand up. And it was only like that wide, but ran along the length of something on that was at the back of a desk, and she just had all of her. No, it was up on a, like she's got like a, I think it's wainscoting where you've got that little ledge all around your room. So she had it all along one wall, and so she was able just to put all her quilting like rulers and everything just right there, the big ones at the back and the little ones at the front. It was just easy for her to get to everything. I'm like, I want that. I mean, I don't have wainscoting, but I want that. Holly says, I'm still trying to work out the best way to store my cables and needles. Hang on, Holly. I've got another one of those pouches that might help you. Not just okay. So when I bought the one for the DPNs, I also bought these ones. Now this one is for fixed circulars. It's a bit chunky and a bit of a mess. So there's all my fixed circulars. But also, here's one for tips and cables. So you can put all your different tips in, and then there's a pouch at the back for all the cables. Don't know if you can see that, but like there's all cables and stuff in there. So not super organized for the cable length, which is why I toss in another little thing, and I also throw that in there because I just want those in there. But you can put, and you know, that's a tightening tool for most of the cables, but you can put in all your tips and cables that you don't have an actual case for. So, but as I said, I picked these up off Amazon. There was a store in the UK who was selling out the old stock. So I was able to grab all three of them, which was great because I love this particular pattern. But I also really like the new ones that they've got. Like, while they're very plain, they're designed a bit differently, and I actually think they hold more stuff. So, which is like, for this guy here, it's really like, I'm like really pushing the limits of what I can fit into it. But it just turns out I had so many, had a lot of interchangeables in different sizes. So, because what I do is I quite often when I'm testing needles, I'll buy like a standard interchangeable needle to test it out first to see if I like the tips. And then if I like the tips, then I'll go and buy an interchangeable tip and cable in a different size. And if I still like it, then I go and buy more of them. Dawn Stewart, welcome to the chat, says, I like the ruler organizers. I'm going to have to look into it because I do have quite a few. And at the moment, most of my bigger ones have like a little drilled hole, like there's a little hole in them. And so I can hang them. So I've got that, but a lot, my smaller ones don't have that. And so, you know, I'm actually missing a ruler that I really, really want to have because like it's a multi-tool ruler and I'm missing it, and I really would have liked to have used it for the sewing workshop, but no idea where it is. Kelly says I have like the plastic sleeve for each size cables and I flick through in book style, makes it really easy to see what I have. I was actually I bought some stuff to try out for a workshop and I just haven't gotten there. So I'll just here. Like here. No, I don't know. But I bought these little, they're about that long, they're about that big, and they've got the little sealable slider on them, and they've got like little holes because they're supposed to go in like little mini binders. And so I was actually going to crochet them into a book and then have them for my cables. I don't know what I've done with them. I have a pack of about 20 of them I picked up off Amazon. Let me see if I can find them. Da, da, da. Here we go. Now, I think these ones are slightly bigger. But this is the idea. And they might actually be the ones. They might actually be the ones. Live stream, here we go. No, that's not the link. That's not the link. That's not the link I just saved. Try again. That was that video that I showed. There we go. That's the Amazon link. That's an affiliate link for Amazon, but that'll get you to what I'm talking about. It's very, very similar. I think it's the same size. The A6. Yeah, that seems about the same size as the ones I got. Oh, there's A7, so maybe I got the A7s. But then I was going to crochet into the... No, I bought the A6s because I had to go and hole punch the extra holes in them. And now that I'm seeing the A7s, I'm thinking, I think I would like those better. I don't have to hole punch little holes into them, but they might be a bit small. Anyway, back to where we were. That storage idea could work for rigid heddle reeds too. It could do if you make the tracks wide enough for them. Absolutely. Oh, spindle delivery. Oh, woohoo, new spindle. I recently bought a Turkish from Lair of the Bearded Dragon, then had to buy a little gift box to carry it around in. Oh no. Oh no, not a Lair of the Bearded Dragon spindle. They are adorable. I actually haven't bought one in years and I really should. I miss them. But I haven't been doing a lot of spindling lately, so it also feels like, why would I be buying one? But also they're beautiful and I love them a lot. Francis, you'll need to put a photo, and Sue Ellen, photos in the groups, please, ladies, because we all need to see the spindle candy. Spindle candy. I'm wondering how much further I've got to go with the green. And also, oh, and Emma received a spindle and a pouch on the weekend too. Awesome. I bought a new spindle while I was away at retreat. I bought one of Emma's off her, and so she may have had to replace that one. I wouldn't have to use my little markers because I'd be on the DPNs. All right, let's make this safe. Okay. Do I have a tape measure handy? Did I put one in the bottom of this bag? No, I have scissors, but no tape measure. Are you kidding me? There's one. It's all good. Alrighty, let's have a look. We're going for inches. Not stretching it, so we're at 3.5 at not stretched. Just making sure it's all flat and nice. Yeah, so just over 3.5, just the merest hint over. So I'm just over halfway. So let me have a look here. I'm just double checking. I haven't, I have to double check this every now and again because it stresses me out. Okay, we'll go down that. That makes it easier. Yep. Okay, that's still sitting at 8, which is where it's supposed to be. Just double checking that it hasn't changed its length again like last time. It's a spindle stick and pewter whirl from Nitty Noddy UK. I'm in love. Oh my gosh, Francis, we definitely need to see a photo of that. Definitely. So either on Discord or in Facebook or both. Please go and add your photos. Now, one thing I did do at retreat, and because Leonie's retreat at Stacey's at the Gap, they do a lot of quilting workshops and a lot of quilting retreats. They have the quilting piecing boards. So it's basically a big thing standing up on edge, and you can lay your fabric on there. And the fabric will stay up by itself, but anything a bit heavier, you might need to pin it in. It also had pins all over it. So I was able to entirely lay out the fusion blanket and work out an order for it. And so it's currently, I've got 1 strip stitched on out of the 8 strips. And it's now has an order. So it's just a case of go through and keep attaching strips and keep working on it. I'm having to slip stitch into each individual chain. I had not intended on working into the chain, so I crocheted them like, they were going to be used as ropes to save people's lives so that they don't stretch. It's very difficult to get the hook into them. And then I realized that my test that I did of my slip stitch braid, I actually did incorrectly. And I should have been just doing it into a single loop, and I'm thinking that might work. So I'm going to pull that out and give it a test. And if that works, I'm going to pull out a row of the other stuff because this will be better. Oh, Abby's bringing in something. I got to close my eyes. Okay, my eyes are closed. Oh, they are so cute. Abby's little Lego pots. Oh, they're adorable, Abby.
I can switch the plants around.
Oh,
They've got like little roots.
they got little roots. They are super cute. Oh, they are adorable, Abby. Are you happy? Where are you going to put them? Holly says that's adorable. The little pop people.
And their arms move.
Oh, their arms move as well?
Yeah, they've got like little plastic arms.
Oh, they've got macaroni arms. It's a shame it's not longer and they can't like hold hands.
They can hold hands. Look. Put that one down.
Oh, they can too. Oh, look at that. They can go like this. Oh, see, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be doing that. They're very cute. Bianca says they're cute. Knitspin Girl says so cute. I've just found some fabric with spinning wheels on them, and some of them are Margicraft. Really? Wow. That's crazy. Which Margicraft wheel is it? Actually, can you just send me a photo of that fabric? I would love to see it. And I'm going to forward it to Margicraft because they might like some to put in their spindle bags. Although they tend to go with calico, so maybe they won't. But I think they'd still like it. Well, again, maybe a little bit. Oh, you've had to send me a screenshot. Thank you. Oh, my coffee is empty. I'm onto the water only. That would make sense if it's the fabric designed by Susie Brown. She does a lot with Margicraft. Let's have a look here. Oh, okay. All right. Well, then Margicraft probably already know about that, but I don't know about it, so I need to know about it. Susie Brown is an absolute legend. I've done a pile of different workshops with her and roomed with her at a retreat. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's that little gems and lunas. Interesting. Plus some old traditional castle wheels. Might be the only one who calls them castles. I don't know. There were Susie's as well. I'll have to have a look at it on a computer where I can make it bigger. I've got my Susie. I actually need to order a new drive band for it because Macy chewed up my last one. So I need a new drive band for Susie. So do I get a length or not? I don't know. It could be a fun one. Don't know how many. I don't know. It's not super colourful though, is it? Like it's all sort of black and white and grayscale. I see the Susies now. I don't know. Be a bit of fun to get some. I don't know how much you normally buy at any one time. Tough call. It's a tough call. I'm the wrong person to ask because I'm like, yeah, buy it. Get 3 meters. Oh dear. Now I did see somebody say, Bob says, I don't have the room for my spinning in the car now. I'm regretting the decision as I've been away from home for 5 weeks and I'm missing my crafting. Oh, yeah. I'd be missing it too. Gosh, 5 weeks. I saw someone say something earlier. Hang on a second. Someone mentioned the tracing paper somewhere, and I can't think of where. I think the sheeped Turkish spindles fabric one would make some great Turkish spindle pouches. I think that would fit really well. Goodness me. My brain just totally shut off for a second there. I forgot what I was doing. Not that I forgot that I was live, but forgot that I wasn't doing a productivity stream that I needed to talk because there's no music. There's no music today because it's not a productivity stream. Now, today is the third Thursday of the month. Is that right? Let me just double check. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Calendar. Where's the calendar? Come here. Calendar of the month of August. 1, 2. It is. It is the third Thursday of the month. And we will be Caffeinated Crafters tonight at Cafe 63 at Beanley. If you would like to join, please pop in. Say hello. We'll be there from around 6ish and just taking up space, or at least I'll be there. I don't know about everybody else, but I'll definitely be there. I've been craving their scrambled eggs with bacon in it. It's they do this thing. I don't know why or how they do it, but it's delicious and I like it, so I want that. Oh, thank you. It was Molly. Thank you, Molly. You can get a roll of Dressmaker's pattern for around at Spotlight. Molly bought a roll of tracing vellum from Spotlight. Thank you. Thank you guys. I knew I saw it and my brain just hadn't connected to it. So definitely need to get my hands on some of that. Bianca says the gnocchi with the prawns and smoked salmon, so delicious. It looked very good. It looked very good. I like it there. I'm very happy that we moved there. I know Saturdays get a bit loud, but we don't have many alternatives, honestly. Goodness me. Because I'm sort of thinking like Spotlight are having a fabric sale and I'm trying really hard not to buy fabric on VIP sale. And I'm like, maybe I will go and buy some Spotlight fabric and I'll get some of the pattern tracing stuff while I'm there. And, your brain just does that little like, I'm going to go shopping and I'm going to do this. Francis says, I also got a set of weaving cards for the Inkle Loom. I'm going to camp with Mum in a few weeks. We'll get her to teach me. That is awesome. I watched, because this is one of the things that happens at the Fibrific Retreat is that different people bring different crafts and you just get sucked into it. And I watched both, Emma, it was Emma and Deb and Josephine all on Inkle Looms. And I don't have an Inkle Loom. But I do make bags and I spend a fortune on bag straps. And sometimes I don't spend a fortune. I get ones that I don't like. And I was watching them make these beautiful things on the Inkle Loom. And I was just like, they would be phenomenal as bag straps. Like, seriously. So now I'm like, do I need to buy an Inkle Loom and learn how to do that? And then I need the cards for the weaving. Anyway, it's very bad. Holly says, I went down an Amazon rabbit hole looking at all the needle cases. I think I found one that I like. Well, that is awesome. That is awesome. Because I think it has to be something you like. Like, my issue, right, is, yes, you can go with plastic sleeves and stuff. Absolutely doable. There's also this interesting looking thing I've seen. I don't know who makes it, but basically it's like a door hanger that has like labeled sleeves, and you just feed your fixed circulars through it. So it's like 2.25s, and it's like, so each section, so the only difference is you've got your different lengths, but you can look at that and see. Talia says the fibrific retreat is really bad for enabling. Oh, it is. Game Witter says you don't need an inkle loom. Don't I? So I don't think I can do anything that fine on any of my other looms. You thought about that, but you want travel case as well. I could legit borrow an inkle loom. I know of plenty of people who've got one that I could borrow one from to give it a try to see if I even like it. I'm sure I do. Francis says, I don't need an inkle loom. We all need inkle looms. Let's see if we can get a mass purchase of inkle looms. I do want to make sure that I get one that can do sort of the 2-inch wide straps. Because while I may not always do 2-inch wide straps, sometimes, like quite often for bags, that's what I want. I want the 2-inch wides. And, you know, you can do it with, you can do the weaving backstrap style if you want to try. Yeah, you can. But I'm not a big fan of backstrap weaving, because I don't like being attached to things. It's the same issues I have with sort of bracelet plying, is that while it's helpful, you've got to attach yourself to it, and I don't like being attached to things. Tali says, I've thought about it for ages, but keep talking myself out of it. Look, I do have a little option that might be able to, you know, let me sort of have a go, but I don't know how it is. It's, you know, it'll depend. I also don't know how public it is, so I don't know if I can talk about it or show it. So it's like a little prototype of something that I've been playing with, but I haven't played with it in a long time. So, yes. And every now and again, I just, you know, pick it back up and go, I really like this idea, but I want it to work. Knitspin Girl says, an inkle loom started me down the rabbit hole of weaving. I really didn't need another hobby, but someone was going to toss an inkle loom in a bonfire if no one took it. I couldn't let that happen. I'd be the same as you. I'm like, that is a perfectly good craft supply. You cannot burn that just because it's timber. Absolutely. I would definitely have to take that as well. I wouldn't have let it be destroyed. Think of all the memories of the things that it had made. It would be sad. And there's some really cute tablet weaving stuff that you can get as well to get the nice patterns. But you can also, like, sort of, can do it without the patterns as well. Like, you don't have to have the tablets to be good, to do good inkle weaving. But it's nice. It's a nice to have for sure. But yes, now that I can get back into making bags again, the bag handle thing is back forefront of my mind. Oh, that'll also mean I can fix my other bag. So I've got a really big crafting tote that I absolutely love, and it was the first of many bags that I made at the different retreats. But I was just never happy with the straps on it. And so now I can fix the straps. That'll be super cool. Kelly says, I was shutting my eyes when the ladies were learning to spin at retreat. There was too many hobbies. I know it's a tough one. I love spinning though. Spinning's just very therapeutic for me. I don't sell, like even when Fiberific was at its sort of in its heyday, I don't never really sold my hand spun unless I just needed to sort of get the crate down to a manageable level, which happens. Sometimes you're like, there's a few too many here. But now I'm like, I'll just weave those, so I can weave them into scarves, and you can sell the scarves. So, you know, options. But one thing I really want to do is I need to sit down at my 80 centimeter rigid heddle and work out exactly what I need to replace on it. Because when Louis was a puppy, I didn't realize he could get to it, and he went the chompity chomp chomp because it's made out of wood and plastic. And Louis likes both things made out of wood and plastic. So I need to go through and check that. I've got a feeling it's an apron and like the plastic things that hold the apron in. So, and then maybe a bit of a sandy sand for everything else will make everything else okay. Bianca says, yes, I'm resisting with all of my willpower. Well, you're allowed to be totally happy if you just knit or if you just crochet. You're allowed to totally be happy. There's no one forcing you into these other crafts. However, if you would like to learn the other crafts, we have an amazingly talented bunch of people around us that I'm sure would be willing to either point you in the right direction or, you know, get you going, whatever it is. We like have this, and we want to share. We want to share the information. We want other people to be able to do it, be able to speak our languages. You know, it's like more connections, more points of connection. So, you know, having all this as an option is good. One of the things I loved about spinning my own yarn, especially like dyeing it and blending it myself, is if I couldn't find a blend I wanted, I could quite often find the undyed ingredients of that blend and then being able to pop it either through a drum carder, which my drum carder needs a new drive band on it. And that's difficult because the company that made them doesn't exist anymore. So I'm going to have to find a jiggery pokery version. But you've got basically a drum carder or hand combs or hand carders, whatever it is. You've got these options to be able to blend it yourself and then spin it and then dye it whatever color you wanted, you know, and being able to do that just opens up so much more, and you get to have the exact blend that you want. Of usually natural fibers is the easiest way. You can buy acrylic fiber, but I'm going to be really honest. If I'm going to work with acrylic, I just want it to already be yarn. I don't want to have to deal with it in any shape, fashion, or form. So, yeah. But today, I've got some tasks on hand. After the live stream, I'm going to have some lunch. And then after lunch, I've got to make my, just take your belt to the O-ring shop. Yeah, I could probably do that. I don't know where our nearest shop that would sell O-rings are, but I'm sure we've got one around. I'm sure we do. I was going to say but yeah, so after lunch, I need to make my Lego flowers with Abby, and then I can finish making my bag, and hopefully I'll have it finished and I can take it with me tonight to Caffeinated Crafters. I made it in a fabric that I got enough of to make a bigger version as well, because what I'm making a small version that can just take all like the feet and stuff like that and all the little tools, so that can go in that one. But I want to make a bigger version, or maybe even just a bigger, like in same fabric but just different shaped for the actual foot pedal and the cables. So I need something bigger for that. So maybe I can even just do that as a different style of case. And I want to be able to like connect them together. So like with like I've got little clips that I can just connect them together with. So they've both got like little handles or something so that so that if I grab one, I've got the other kind of thing, and keep them with the sewing machine. So, but yeah, and then I have to look at options for making it transportable. So I've got to write down its dimensions of it when it's in its little case and find if I can buy a trolley for it, or like I love Deb's got Deb's got this really cool little crate on a trolley, and it's like, I think it's collapsible, and I would love something like that because it's got a lid on it and it's all hard, so I could put my sewing machine in the bottom with its little pouchy bags, and it could go in there. And then on top of that, I could have like another tote or crate or whatever with all my fabrics. And then I'd be set for sewing retreat. That would be amazing, but I just don't know if it's quite big enough. I know my sewing machine is much smaller than my others, which that's a win. Oh, I snapped. Hopefully my stream is still going. Let's just see. That's interesting. I've never had it snap while I was the one live streaming before. Let me see. Did I disappear or anything like that, or was it just straight up just a YouTube glitch? Deb says, "Well, I have unpacked nothing. I've been looking at DPNs and Ravelry." Yes, I get that. I also have unpacked not many things. I know, breaking the stream for you. Yeah, the snap is really annoying. I have been reporting it and reporting it and reporting, and nothing has happened. But I've never had it happen on my in-studio screen before. So that was crazy. I've had it like when I'm moderating, it happens all the time. But nothing changed for you guys. That's awesome. So what happens is I get this black screen with like a sad face with "or snap" writ under it. And it's just frustrating. But yeah, I'm glad it didn't dump me out. So that's a positive thing. That's a positive thing. But yeah, so I've got to do some measure-do's to work out if if that can even happen, because I don't want to buy one of the special U-Butte sewing machine ones because they're really legit expensive, and also they're quite often soft unless you want the really big ones, which I don't. I want something small and manageable. Because like to get it up and down the hill at Leonie's, I need to be able to, deal with that. So nothing changed for you guys. I'm so glad. It was just me talking about how, oh, my screen snapped. That's cool. That's good. That's a good thing. That's the best case scenario right there. So yeah, that is good. Note to self, never ever make one of these hats again with the 2mm needles. It was an accident. I wanted 2.75s, and because I wanted to go down from the 3s, I thought the 3 last time was just that little bit too big. Grabbed the wrong needles, got started, and then rather than frog it and go back, I just kept going. It just means there's a lot of stitches. It's a lot of stitches, and it makes it slow going. I think I've got like 200 stitches in each round. So it's a lot. It's a lot to get around. I think it's about 50-ish between each stitch marker. Or thereabouts. So 0 stars. I mean, it's making a beautiful, beautiful fabric. Like, don't get me wrong. It's still soft and slinky, and it's going to be a great beanie. It's going to be a good size and everything. It's going to fit nicely. But it's just taking a really long time to make. That's all. Just really long time. I don't want to make more of these. I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, this took 27 years. So I never want to make another one again. I love the idea of them, and I want to make more of them because it means I can use up, like, I've got a lot of 50-gram balls of sock yarn because I make little short socks. So I don't usually use a whole 100 grams. So I've got 40, 50-gram balls of sock yarn all over the shop. So if I could split these and do something fun and, have these 3 sections of hat and be able to get myself multiple hats out, I love it. Francis says, lucky you're a fast continental knitter. I wouldn't consider myself a fast knitter, but I definitely am continental, and it's definitely faster than when I was a thrower. I was a very slow thrower, like English knitter. And continental changed a lot for me, but I wouldn't say I'm fast. I have spurts of speed, right? Whereas Bianca just knocks out like a shirt in a week. I don't, I consider Bianca fast. I don't know if Bianca's a continental knitter or not, but she's very fast. And so, yeah, I tell you what though, I can't wear my Apple Watch and knit because all the movements I do, it's like, oh wow, you're doing a workout. And I'm like, well, I mean, yes, I am. So, it's not reliable. I can't wear it. And sometimes I forget and I trick it. And it's like, wow, you did all your steps for the day. And I'm sort of being like, I've been sitting on the couch crocheting. Oh, there we go. Bianca says, yes, I'm fast, but not so fast as Kerry. Oh, Kerry is also very fast. I don't know if Kerry's in the chat. I think she popped in and out at the start. But yeah, Kerry is very, very quick. Very quick. Whereas I have like I'll be a bit quick for like, an hour or two, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm going to put that project down and walk away for X amount of time. So, different. Whereas these guys are just keep going. They're like lightning. And like you turn around and they're trying on their tops and you're just like, oh man, I've done a neckband. And then I went off and did 14 other things, but then I've come back and I'm still on my neckband. Oh, Bianca's kryptonite is crochet. Yeah. How's your case going? Your little zipper pouch? Because I'm thinking for my speaking of zipper pouches. Oh, you are a continental knitter. Not that I'm fast. No, you are fast. What was I gonna say? I think for my sewing machine, for the feet and stuff, I think I'm gonna make like something not the same as this, but a similar idea as this, a bit longer, maybe not as boxed, and so I can just slide my foot and cables in next to it and sort of open it up enough to get them out. I like the idea of the light coloured lining too, so I might do that as well on that one. Although maybe a darker colour might be better, or grey might be better. Although the green I'm using is nice. Maybe I'll just stick with the green and the purples. You've crocheted a little more in the pouch. I'll bring it to Kelly says the dark green was very difficult to see. Oh, absolutely. That was a very difficult colour to go with first off. Bianca is making one of Tina's mosaic pouches from a zip. So I had to do all this the sewing of the zip stitches and the crocheting and the angry craft. I was sitting next to her. There was angry craft going on. It was legit angry craft. So, did not enjoy. 0 stars. Is it a 1 star or a 0 star? I love how it looks, so I will finish it. Fair enough, but you probably won't start another one. That's one of the things, though. I just realised Abby stuck one of her little, what are they called? I can't think of what they're called, but basically it's a little face with like a little animal hat, and they stick on your on the backs of monitors and things like that. And then she's just popped one up here. I think I had one here. These guys. Oh, come here. So I've got this one. So this is the idea of them. But there's these other ones that are sort of like flat and half. And they've actually got sticky stuff on their tummies, and they're designed to sort of sit over the edge of your monitors and screens. Do I have another one? No. I could put her just right there. There we go. But yeah. Did anyone see Tina when she was in Australia? I did. I was really lucky. I got to catch up with her at a friend's house, where Tina was staying. So I got to go and meet her there. I didn't make it to the Crochet Guild event. She is nice. She's lovely. Holly says, I just figured out my new project. I have some granny squares that I'm going to make larger and make a 4-sided purse. Cute as. Holly says, I love those mosaic crochet zipper pouches. I made 12 of them as my party gift for my book club. That's actually a really lovely gift. Kelly says, yeah, I did. She is an amazing person. She is. And we got to see all her projects, like, and it really shined home that when I made my mosaic pouch, my stitches are way too loose. No, they're not Labubus. There's something else. Abby. I don't know. And we don't buy the proper brand ones. There's a fake brand one that's being sold at our local Choice, and Abby will go down and buy a couple, and then we both open them up. And I enjoy the opening up, but I give most of them to her. But she's now threatened to stick them all over my monitors, and it looks like she got one in here. Because aren't Labubus the one with the little furry and then the plastic faces? I don't know. Maybe they are Labubu. I don't think they're Labubu. Labubu or something else, aren't they? Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm confused. I don't know. I don't think so. That Cupid Angels? No. Something Angels. Something Angels. I can't think of what they are. Hang on, I'll send her a message. She's watching a show. Abby, where are you? Abby. Take a photo. What are these called? Maybe Sunny Angels, I think. Maybe Sunny Angel. I don't know. She'll tell me. Oh, she saw my message. Sunny Angels. SOOSONNY. Sunny Angels. There we go. I think I'm going to move my sewing machine in here later to see if I can, how it goes on this table. It'd be so nice if I could sew on a height adjustable table. So if I just want to stand and just quickly do something, I can. But also B, sit in my comfy chair. I love this chair. A friend of mine who helped guide me into buying this one, he's just let me know he's bought a second one for he's got like 2 separate spaces, and he's bought one for the other space now. Oh, Abby just brought in a pile of them. Oh, uh-oh. See how they got like a flat tummy? Because that's actually a little sticker that's got a plastic thing over it, but you peel it back and it's a little sticker. And so this one's a jellyfish. And that one is a conch shell. And that one's an alligator. This one's a zebra. And I've got this little black cat one, but it's like a sitting one. Abby's seriously, I can hear her thundering around. She's like collecting them all. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Abby, how many do you have?
I hide them from you. Oh, that one's decapitated.
We've got a pair of elephants. So we've got an elephant sitting.
Dad's desk.
An elephant standing. Because that's the thing. Some of them stand and some of them sit. And look at the little bunny. A little, I think it's a little orange monkey. A little yellow cat. And Abby's got a black cat that's standing. So I've got a black cat that's sitting. And then she's got a little, what are the ones with the two colours? Calico cats? I don't know. Yeah. That one's mine. That one can stay up there. But that's so cute, Abby.
I've got a giraffe one, a radish one, a dolphin one, and a shark one. With sticky backs of vanilla.
And she's got some that's in her bedroom as well. So here you go, Abs. Yeah, she's. Well, I mean, we don't. These aren't the like legit brand ones.
From Choice.
These are Choice. They're what, a couple of bucks each? Yeah. Yeah. These are a few bucks each rather than the $30 each that the proper brand ones are. But these are just as cute. I mean, look. This one's got like this little chicken drumstick. A chicken drumstick. Oh, it does have a tail. Cute. All right, here you go, monkey.
I want my black cat one back.
You can't have the black cat one back.
That one's mine.
It's mine now.
Oh, it's mine.
But it's mine now. Oh, you bum.
Ask me the children. No. No. Give me that. Give me that. No! Oh, I need to get the one with the ice cream head.
Oh my gosh, that was fun. Deb says yes, there's Sunny Angels. She bought a few in Thailand. Yeah, Abby's got a few. Abby has a problem, and yeah, she's just yelled out she needs more. Because they're adorable. They really are. They're so cute. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. If you are local, we are at Cafe 63 tonight. Pop in, say hi. I'm gonna run away and I'm gonna go and have some lunch, and I've got some actual work to do later. But hang on, she's got another one.
This is your one.
Which one is it?
It's like an ice cream head, some Japanese ice cream
It's
or something.
some sort of ice cream. So, yeah, I didn't know I had that one.
Yeah, it's next to your stuff. Where's your owl one?
I got a cat up there. I think they're in here. I had to move all this yarn, and I think they're sitting in that basket. So, see ya. Yeah, it's 12, guys. It's 12 already. I know, it's shocking. All right, I'll catch you all here next week, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Get some crafting time in if you haven't already, and I will chat next Thursday. Bye now.